We're asked all the time, what's the best way to plan a website? And so I want to go over a method that we've used for years. I like to call the table method. And the reason that I call it the table method is I typically do this on a board, on a conference room type table with pieces of printer paper. What I'll do is I'll grab a stack of blank printer paper and I'll walk over to a conference room table and start the process. What I'll do is I'll start by placing all the printer paper that I have, or several leaves of it anyway, across the table. Then I'll ask my client, first of all, I'll label this first one Home, and I'll ask my client to list for me what type of internal or secondary pages would they like on their website. Now, a secondary page, if you haven't seen our overview of the different parts of a website, are pages that are not the home page. That's a nice, easy explanation. So it could be your About Us page, your Contact Us page, it could be your services, maybe it's your online store, maybe it's your blog. But what we want is an index here of the different pages. So maybe somebody says, well, I've got a blog, I've got a services page, I've got a contact page, I'd also like a bio page, and let's say an online store. So for our purposes here, we'll just call it store. Once the client has told me that these are the pages that they need, I'll remove the other pieces of paper. And now we're left with an overview of the website itself. Now we'll go back. We're going to skip the home page for a moment, and I'll ask, what would you like to have within the blog? And they'll say, well, I just want to have a list of articles. And so we might say here, a little bullet point, articles. With some images, I'm sure they're going to put some pictures and content in there, but we're really just looking for what is it that you expect to have in this area. In the services area, I'll ask them, what would you like to have in the services page? And they say, well, a list of services. And I'll ask anything else. And they say, well, we might want to have some pics of client work and maybe some pricing. I'll ask anything else, and they say, nope, we're ready for the next one. On the contact page, I ask them what would they like to have there. And here, list of staff might be something they might say, phone numbers, maybe addresses of their different locations, maybe even a Google map. They'll give me the list until they're done. Then I'll go to the next one. The bio, so we're going to need a bio text. We need the text of the actual bio, and then maybe we need a picture of the person whose biography it is. And then finally, the online store, we'll need our products, and we need a cart, a shopping cart. And so maybe we get there, and the client says, okay, that's pretty much it. And then I'll go back to the home page, and I'll ask, what of these things, if you can choose 3 main points of emphasis, where you want clients to go next? Obviously, we're going to have a menu that's going to lead them to everything, but where are the most important areas of the website? And so sometimes, I guess in a situation like this, the client might say, well, what we're looking for is we want them to get acquainted with our services, we'd like them to see the latest blog post, and we'd like them to maybe see a featured product. Maybe a featured product. And then I'll ask them, if you could take a picture and you can combine it with a phrase or a group of words to really illustrate to a user, once they get to your home page, to illustrate to a website visitor why they're there and why they should care. Why are they on your website? How come they found you? Why is it relevant to them? Why should they care? Why should they click? Why should they look beyond this home page? What would that be? And typically we'll come up with something, and we call that the impact statement. And that becomes the basis for our design of the home page. We want to create a home page that grabs the attention, affirms the visitor that they're in the right place for the right reasons, that they need to look further, and then we want to catch their eye with the most important things that we, as the business owner, or the ministry owner, or the nonprofit head wants them to go to. That might be a list of efforts that you're doing in foreign countries. It may be a list of your services or products. Once they click on that website, once they click on either of those options, or they click on the menu across the top or the side or even the bottom, they can access the different pages within the site. This, by the way, becomes the entire index of the website we're about to create for a customer. So what I'll typically do is I'll take these pages, I'll pile them up exactly in reverse order with the home page on top. I'll typically make a copy of that, and then I'll hand the originals to the client and say, now you have a bulleted list of everything you need to go get in order to make your site great. We need articles for the blog. We need a list of services, pictures of client work, and pricing for your products. We need the list of your staff, which includes pictures and bios, phones, addresses, and we need we can generate the map. We need the text for your bio and a picture of the person whose bio it is, or maybe people, and then we need a list of your products in order to create your cart. We might also need, for example, your merchant account information, and maybe some other pieces of information there that I might outline with the client. But at the end of the day, this is how you plan an effective web presence. Now, we have some techniques and we have some things that we might be able to help you with in order to fine-tune and make decisions about what pages and content should really go on your website and what you're trying to lead to. In this case, for example, this was a very client-led discussion, and I asked the client what they were interested in doing. But in a true consulting arrangement, I probably would have a conversation before this, and that conversation would ask the question, at the end of the day, what would they like a visitor to do? And that would then dictate what needs to be on the pages and what order it needs to be. Thank you so much for watching, and if you need any help, make sure you sign into your account, click on Message Center at the top, and send us a message. Thank you for watching.